Hey, it's Mario, here to make your brain a little bit fatter with some knowledge about the radial scan. Let's go. When you're learning instrument flying, it's important to have an organized method for scanning the flight instruments so you can maintain aircraft control and situational awareness. There are two approaches that are vital to the instrument flying beginner: the radial scan and the selective radial scan. The radial scan is all-encompassing. It gives you the chance to systematically review all of the flight instruments. The selective radial scan, as you might have guessed, as the name implies, is more selective. It reduces your workload and allows you to focus on a smaller subset of instruments that are relevant to whatever maneuver you're currently executing. The radial scan and the selective radial scan are used together, but for this video we're only going to focus on the radial scan. We'll cover the selective radial scan in its own video. The radial scan is based on the core philosophy of aircraft control. Attitude plus power equals performance. So in other words, if we want to control the performance of the aircraft, we need to do so by controlling the attitude and the power. Now, controlling power is pretty easy in most cases. We can set the throttle and the propeller control to whatever setting we need, and that's it. Even if the maneuver requires a minor adjustment to the power, that's pretty straightforward. This is because once the power is set, it doesn't tend to drift. But the attitude is a bit different. Between all the little gusts and eddies in the atmosphere, turning tendency of the propeller, imperfect rigging of the aircraft, and so on, you get the idea, aircraft attitude will drift if it's not continuously corrected by the pilot, which is you. So we need to be checking our attitude and making minor corrections all the time. This fact is central to the radial scan. The centerpiece of the radial scan is the attitude indicator. Now, the attitude indicator and our power instruments are our control instruments. The remaining instruments in our six-pack tell us what the aircraft is doing. In other words, they tell us about our performance. As such, we call them performance instruments. During a radial scan, we alternate between control and performance. We look at our control instrument, that is our attitude indicator, to monitor and correct our attitude. Then we look at a performance instrument to monitor aircraft performance. Then we go back to the attitude indicator, and then to another performance instrument, and so on and so on. You get the idea. Every second instrument we look at should be the attitude indicator. If we see a deviation in targeted performance, it's the attitude indicator that we need to look at to make a correction. Now, of course, we should be considering power as well, but because it doesn't drift, we can check it much less frequently and correct it much more easily. Because the attitude indicator is the top center of the six-pack, constantly returning to it is easy. In fact, that's why it holds such a central place on the panel. As we move around the six-pack from one performance instrument to another, always returning to the attitude indicator, the pattern our eyes follow is centered on the hub of the attitude indicator, with radials leading to each of the surrounding performance instruments. Of course, this pattern is why the scan is called the radial scan. The radial scan allows us to track the attitude of the aircraft along with the resulting performance. The language we use referring to the attitude indicator as the control instrument is important. When we see a deviation in our target performance, we need to look at the attitude indicator to make that correction. Okay, let's run through an example. If we're getting a little bit above our target altitude, it's tempting to make a correcting input while looking at the altimeter and stop the correction when the altitude is back on target. But the aircraft takes time to respond to control inputs, and the altimeter takes time to indicate altitude changes. As a result, when the altimeter indicates that we're back on target, we've already overcorrected. You can see where this might lead, chasing the instruments back and forth as we continuously overshoot our target. Now, if we add simultaneously speed and heading corrections, you can probably see that we can easily lose control of the aircraft and have a mini nightmare on our hands. We avoid all of this by keeping the attitude at the center of our scan and making corrections with reference to the attitude indicator. When flying visually, our primary reference is the horizon. When flying on instruments, we no longer have reference to the horizon. So we switched our primary reference to the attitude indicator. But ultimately, the attitude indicator serves the same purpose as the horizon. It tells us where the aircraft is so we can anticipate and control what the aircraft will do. Now that's all I have for you on the radial scan. Before I let you go though, if you are looking to master the flight instruments themselves, we have a beginner's course called Flight Instrument Essentials. The course has a 4.5-star rating. Over 50 students have enrolled. There is no commitment. We offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so enroll with the link in the description. As for me, I'm off. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.